chapter of the Gospel according to Dr. Luke. See the position. 15th chapter of St. Luke. Beginning with verse number 12. We start at 11, then move a little forward. 11, y'all. 15th chapter of St. Luke, coming from your thing. 15th chapter of St. Luke, beginning with verse number 11. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. Not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in mourning. He went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his field to feed swine. And he would have filled his belly with the herbs that the swine did eat. And no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. I want to pause right there and use this afternoon for a subject. Going home with a new attitude. Going home with a new attitude. As we examine this passage this afternoon, we are faced with the reality of growing pain. In order for children to grow into adults, there's a certain amount of pain that is experienced. That's right. Growing pain. There are many people that appear from the outward look to have developed to maturity. But when you take a second look at them, and look at them natural, not from the natural standpoint, but examine them from the physical perspective, you got a lot of grown folk. They got a lot of growing to do. You don't hear me today. Jesus understood who his listeners were. Jesus understood their downfall and their uprising. Jesus knows all about it. Jesus knows if you're faking it. Come on. Jesus knows if you're real about it. You don't hear me today. Jesus knew his crowd, I tell you. He knew the congregation that was there. It is amazing, my sisters and my brethren, that there are a lot of people that find it easy to condemn. What's a simple word for condemn? Tear down. It don't take much to demolition, to go through a demolition situation. But when it comes down to build, you need expertise. Can I get away? Well, Thomas, you know about building. One of the key things is making sure your right, isn't it? If you mess up with your foundation, everything else is going to end up wrong. A lot of individuals have foundations that are weak. When the storm of life begins to blow, it won't be long, as the boys used to say, before you have a shakedown. Breakdown. Yeah. Come on, Pastor. So we find that there was this group of people that was around Jesus, known as the Pharisees. Top-notch scholars, great theologians. But understand there were things that they didn't know, and there were things that they needed. Preaching. Jesus being the master teacher. I like this much about Jesus. He didn't down. He understood that he had to have outreach. Come on. When people don't do it the way you do it, or see it the way you see it, don't down them, just have outreach. Pray for them and realize that they have to go through the changes and the arrangements. They have to grow. There must be some growing pains. In order for them to get to the point, they have to go through the situation, have to go through the channels, and allow time and God to have His just due with it. So we find here that Jesus is faced with the Pharisees. I like to say it this way so I can remember the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Sadducees. Now you can remember which one have the kind of counts, and you can remember them. But here we have the Pharisees, and they are before Jesus. They are the ones that are able to criticize. You know, some folks just find it easy to criticize and theorize and analyze. They can easily come up with an hypothesis that's just as far from right and the left is from the right and all is from the side. One of my brothers called him a moat hunter. Moat hunter. They got a great big log in the eye talking about the moat in your eye. It is important that you have an attitude adjuster. Jesus, being the attitude adjuster, he had the patience. He had the common knowledge and the theological divine knowledge as to how to unroll the scroll and tell it the way it is. We are able to see Jesus, that great theologian. He began to talk to these Pharisees, and he knew their thoughts. He had read their minds. He knew the ins and outs of them. And as they began to sit there and criticize in their mind and say, what kind of fella is this? Let me come over and say, what sort of fella is this? He's spending all his time around the no-gooders. He's spending his time around all of those that less than the less. He's spending his time around those that don't have it. Why is it that he's taking so much time with them? Don't you want folks that's already ready? You got to have patience. Understand, when you reach an experience in spirituality, don't down to others that haven't got there yet. Up in here. So we understand here now that as Jesus began to teach, he did not address directly the situation with the Pharisees. But he went on a roundabout way. Sometime in order to let people see themselves, you just get the mirror. That's all you have to do. Don't you say a word, you just get the mirror. And let them look at you. Begin to take an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Started off with saying, what man of you, having 100 sheep, will leave the 99 in the wilderness and searched for the one that was lost. He posed a question that allowed them to begin to look. He gave them the mirror. But he realized who his crowd was. He knew that there were shepherds in the crowd. He knew that they could relate to what he was saying. So he took the time that was necessary and beneficial to paint the picture. He's a master artist, you see. So he began to paint the picture, and as he began to talk and walk them through it, he said to them, what matter of you would have 99 and search for the one, and the attitude that you ought to have when you find that one, call your friends and call let me put it my way. Come over here. Where the sun is shining. Come over here. I want you to come over here and rejoice with me. Went on to say, whoever rejoices like that, that's one that been in the darkness comes into the marvelous light. You know, there's some folks that get mad when folks join the church. Coming in here, they're going to take my spot. Who told you you got a spot? He sat down, Grace. So Jesus didn't stop there. He went on a little further. He realized that he had some people in the group that loved to save and invest. So he began to talk about a woman that had 10 pieces of money. One got lost in the house. She took the necessary time to clean up the house and search diligently until she found a coin which was lost. Then she called her friends and neighbors and told them to come and rejoice with me. I found my piece that was lost. So is heaven rejoicing when one come to the Lord. We ought to get excited when the Lord takes somebody in. They open their heart and let him in. Jesus didn't stop there. He realized that he had fathers in the group. So he struck out on his third and final path. He said there was a certain man that had 2 sons. The youngest of the sons said to his father, Father, I want you to give me the portion of good that falleth unto me. I want you to know I'm not willing to wait until your departure out. I got things to do, places to go, people to see, ideas to embark upon. Thoughts I've been thinking, drinks I want to be drinking. So I tell you what, I got to leave here, and I'm asking you if you would finance my departure. I can imagine that father was hurt down to his heart. Oh yes, but I'm glad that father was first of all provided for. Because in order to have something to be able to reach into and dip into, he had to be one that was a saver and not a waster. And I'm glad of this also, that father was a fair man. But when you read your word, you will find in big bold print, and he divided unto them. Yeah, he didn't just single or point out him, but the Bible said he divided unto them his living. And not long after that, the younger son gathered all of it together. The Bible said in a few days thereafter. Yes, I want to emphasize that. Because understand that young man, he was a decisionary person, but he was not a decisive person. singer sang for me, preacher. You listen to the blues? Yeah, I do. I heard one songwriter say, living just enough for the sick. Well, this young man said, well, I'm tired of being around here. Yeah, I got my money, and I'm gonna get my whiskey. Yeah, some of us are tired of being under the reins of our parents and want to do our own thing, our own way. I stop out and tell you, hold up, wait a minute, you need to check out things before you jump out. You need to understand the devil, yeah, he got a program and he's always looking for candidates. Oh Lord, and don't you be the one that join his on that. Preaching coming up here now. Well, we find that this young man, see him and all his grandeur, see him as he leaves there, yes, as he have his saddle bags full of money, yes, riding into town, oh Lord, and I can see it, the old folk call the jitterbugs, begin to meet him, the city slickers begin to meet him, but they understood that he was new in town. Am I right about that? Yes, and he wanted to be a big spender. He didn't want to be a big shot. So he rolled in. I can see him out there and stop out all the old houses. Let me tell you something. When you leave home, the first house you ought to stop at God's house. And the next house you ought to stop at, is the employment house. And then the third house you ought to stop at, is the bank house. You understand that all those houses will keep you afloat. Let me drop this in and it won't cost you much. Understand that God in infinite wisdom from the beginning, he gave things in a proper order. First of all, he gave man the word of God. That was item number one. That's why I said you ought to stop at God's house. When you got God's word in you, it will direct you. No matter what folks say, no matter what the devil put together, you got a God in your life, which is your basic instruction before leaving earth, the capital B-I-B-L-E. You got to have God's word in your life. Not only that, the second thing God gave man, he gave him work. Am I right about it? He told Adam, your job is to dress the garden, keep the garden, then do it. He gave man knowledge enough to name all the animals. He gave him work so he would not waste his time. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. So you stop at God's house first, then you stop, at a place of work, then you stop thirdly at the place to have finances. The third thing God gave man is a wife, not a woman, but a wife. Some folk may get mad, that's all right. Tell you what, do it God's way and not your way, and you'll be all right. Notice I said the third stop ought to be the bank. Because understand this, ain't no sense in going home if you ain't got no money. You got some gambling going. To the prophet son one more time. So now he is a heavy roller. He's a baller, shot caller, player from the Himalayas. He stopped shoes on their feet. Then they realize I'm in a fix of a mix. I need to get me some employment now. Look at this Jewish boy. Yes, the Jews have been taught by Moses that the animals, the pigs and hogs were unclean. Jewish law did not allow them to deal with them. But I tell you what, let me tell you about three folks I know something about. Old man ain't got, old man got to have. Yes, an old sister, you got to do something. When old folks get to ride in the wagon with you, they cannot deal you some heavy circumstances. Am I right about it? Look at this young man going down to the hog pen, looking at the hogs. I can imagine that old side fell off in the trough to keep the pigs from getting the slop as he was slopping up the hog. Let me tell you something, when you get it on, it can mess with your mind. He decided to eat some slop. Don't tell me the problem rise in your life. Stuff you used to turn your nose up. Come on! Oh, Lord! Can't you see him slopping up the hog? Oh, Lord! Some of us get so high till we get blinded to the light of the Lord. He had got spiritual blind, but I'm glad that the Bible says, and he came to himself. And to think about home is just something about home. Dogs and cats sometimes will wander away from home. Sometimes they'll stay gone weeks at a time. Known some to be gone month at a time. But it's just something about them that desire to get home. They will find their way home. So is it with the human being. We understand that to be with the Lord is home. Am I right about it? Oh, Lord. So this young man began to think about daddy, about father. He said, how many hot servants the father had, how much bread he got to spare. Even the servant doing better than I am. I'm gonna get up and get gone. I will arise, go home to the father. Can't you see the young man coming down the path? Coming down the path. I can imagine that his father had gone to the door many times. Said, Lord, bring my son back home. Each day, look, didn't see his son. But it happened one day, he looked and saw him afar. He said, well, it looked like my son, but he's not walking proud. It looked like my son, he's barefoot. It looked like my son, he's not shaved, well-groomed, but he still looks like my son. As the boy got a little bit closer, he said, it is my son. I know it's my son. See the tide to be the son. Son had up his hand. I got something to tell you, Lord. Well, Daddy, let me speak. I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. I'm coming home. I got a new attitude. Realize that I'm wrong. Hand out, but I put a hand in. Daddy, will you take me back? I'll work for you now. You don't have to give me nothing. That's the opportunity to work. I'll work for you. I'll go where you want me to go. What you want me to say? I'll do what you want me to do. Look at that father, being a forgiving father, said to the servant, I tell you what, first of all, let's dress him up so he'll look like my son. Dress him up, yeah, I tell you shoe room, get new shoes. Look like my son. Yes, about that time he told those out in the farmyard, go get the fattest calf, bring up no razorback cow, fatted calf, get it and push it up. Tell the cooks to fire up the stove. We're gonna cook it up. The older son out in the field said, wait a minute, what's going on? Servant told him, your slow brother, which was dead, now alive. Come back home. Oh, yeah, that older brother got an attitude. Said, well, all the things he done, you taking him back. Oh, yeah, but I'm glad that God being the Father, although we nag, bicker, and complain, when one comes out the darkness into the marvelous light, and the Lord allows His blessing to be on them. God the Father, let us know all I got belongs to you. Appreciate. So you can participate. Stop drinking haterade. Start drinking Gatorade. Oh, yeah. Hey, when the Lord allows somebody to be blessed, understand He got you. Get in the line. Wait on the Lord. Be a good care. He will, not might, not maybe. He will bless you. Due time. Look at that, Father. I'm about to close now. Said to the son, you need to understand all I got is yours. Whenever you get ready to kill your fat cat, you can kill it. Not only that, look back. He divided unto them. You already got a chance to get a piece of the action. Secondly, you can have while I live. Thirdly, you've been working, and when I'm gone, it's gonna be yours. And God got power. But I'm glad this young man got his attitude straightened out. He went home with a new attitude. His father accepted him. There are those of us today, we need to have a new attitude. Some say, I'm going to heaven anyhow. But I stop by to tell you, you got to love to go where Jesus is. If you got a hating attitude,